Yo, what's up, guys? So we have the new Lyricallucina stuff that they've been really hyping up. It's finally coming out, so let's go ahead and check them out and let's see if these are going to be any good. So anyways, the first card that we're going to be taking a look at is the Lyricallucina Barrel Canary over here. Here is the artwork on this card, and it's going to be a level 1 wind with 0 attack and 200 defense points, and it's also going to be a wing beast effect monster. So it says you can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. The first part of it says if this card is in your hand, you get to target one Lyricallucina monster in your graveyard, spell summon this card, and that target, but you cannot spell summon monsters from the extract for the rest of this room except for Exceeds monsters. The second part of the effect is a wind Exceeds monster that was summoned using this card on the field. As material gains this effect, it gains 200 attack. Also, possession cannot switch. Interesting little effect over there. Right now, the viable way to actually use the Lyricallucina is definitely in the Tri-Brigade archetype, but limiting to just this makes it a little bit more difficult and a little bit less incentivized to actually play it, but still maybe actually doable with some combos. Next up, though, we have the Celesti Wagtail. This is a new level 1 wind wing beast effect monster with 200 attack and 0 defense points, and it says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn each. The first part of the effect is if this card is special summoned, you get to add one Lyricallucina spell/trap from your deck to your hand. The second part is if this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Lyricallucina, a seized monster you control, and attach this card to it as material. That's a really, really good effect. Just being able to either add one or be able to attach it as material in the graveyard. Okay, so it's looking pretty good. Next up, though, we have the Lyricallucina Assemb Blue. I don't know why this pronunciation right there. Robin over here. Anyways, rank 1 wind wing beast Exceeds effect monster with 0 attack and 0 defense points, and its materials are 2+ level 1 monsters, so it is generic. The first part of the effect is it gains 500 attack for each material attached to it. The second part is if your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, you get to detach one material from this card, then target one of those monsters and return it to the hand. That's already a good reactive effect, right? That's if your opponent summons it, so it's basically like, you know, you can use it during their turn as well. And then the third effect is if this card in your possession is sent to your graveyard by an opponent's card, you get to target one other Lyricallucina monster in your graveyard and add it to your game. Okay, solid card overall. Next up, though, we have the Prom Thrush. I guess this would kind of consider their boss monsters, right? Because sometimes when you have a lot of materials, these can actually be strong. That's kind of how the Lyricallucina archetype kind of works. But the next boss monster is Lyricallucina Prom Thrush. This is the artwork: 0 attack, 0 defense, rank 1 wind wing beast effect monster, and its materials are 2+ level 1 monsters, and it gains 500 material for each material attached to it. The first part of second part of the effect is once per turn, you detach one material from this card, then target a spell/trap your opponent controls and shuffle it into the deck. Third part of the effect is at the start of the damage step, if another of your monster battles, you can detach any number of materials from this card. Your battling monster gains 300 attack for each material detached until the end of this turn. Okay, so this boosts up any other monster. Okay, so that's interesting considering this would also technically, like, if you detach materials from it, because it says another monster, which I'm assuming doesn't include itself, so detaching to boost itself up wouldn't really matter anyways, because you're losing more than you'd be gaining. But interesting card. Next up, though, they have more support. So the Lyricallucina Bird Sanctuary is a new continuous spell card, and here's the artwork on it, and it says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn each. The first part of the effect is target 2 wing beast Exceeds monsters you control, attach one of them and all material attached to it, the other as material. This is actually pretty big. If you want to go for those big like OTK potential plays, yeah, definitely this could be an option just to get a massive amount of attachments to like one target, right? And then the second part of the effect is if you control an Exceeds monster with 3 or more material, you get to draw 1 card. So I guess this works really well with the first part of the effect. I mean, every single turn, I mean, it's just you're going to draw an extra card, and it basically just becomes a lingering card effect. But Yu-Gi-Oh has gotten to be a really fast, game. Supply Squad has basically been phased out of almost every deck back, if you guys remember when that card used to see play. But this one, it recovers it immediately, and that for that reason alone, I think that people will be running it. Next up, though, and it's just an Exceeds monster, it does not actually have to be a Lyricallucina, so I'm wondering if other people will try to run this in some other decks, maybe. Next up, though, we have Lyricallucina Birds of a Feather, normal trap card that says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn each. The first part of the effect is target one Lyricallucina monster you control. Change the attack of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls to that target's. Also, their levels and ranks become 1. Okay. The second part of the effect is when an opponent's monster declares an attack on your Lyrical monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Your battling monster attack becomes the same as that opponent's monsters until the end of the turn. So basically, you just crash. And then next up, these are all just reprints. So we have reprints of the Cobalt Sparrow, we have reprints of the Sapphire Swallow, Assembled Nightingale, and then the Recital Starling. So those are all the new Lyricallucina cards. Let me know, guys, what you think of them. Do you guys think that this is going to impact the game a lot? I definitely like the ability on the Assemb Blue Robin being able to, if your opponent, so like that's multiple monsters, but then it only target. So the problem that I have with this though is obviously it has to be when they actually summon that monster or monsters. You have to detach one from this, then you have to target it and then return it to the hand. I mean, if it was just like return those monsters, because it does include when they summon multiple of them, it's just one of them. But I also like it set targets. I don't know. I feel like the new synchro stuff for the Chevalier was a little bit more impressive, but nonetheless, Lyricallucina, like I said, it's only really utilized in a Tri-Brigade for now. But anyways, that's going to go ahead and wrap up the vid. Let me know your thoughts down below on any of the cards. But thanks for tuning in, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here and want to see more new Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, subscribe, turn the bell, and you'll see more very soon. But take care, and I'll catch you in the next vid, and I'm out. Peace.